The situation in Gaza is desperate. It has been desperate for months now. The decision of the United States to deliver humanitarian aid through airdrops is incomprehensible. Obviously, any humanitarian aid is welcome because the situation is so bad. But airdrops are inefficient, insufficient, wasteful, potentially dangerous. And they're only really a last resort when road or sea delivery is impossible. In Gaza, both roads and sea delivery can be carried out through, the roads are excellent right up to the point of entry. There is a seaport. Gaza is, the entire length of Gaza is a coastline. And so it's incomprehensible that the United States, that continues to provide weapons to Israel, the weapons that are being used to carry out unlawful attacks against civilians, is unable to muscle enough political will to put the necessary pressure to ensure that humanitarian aid gets into Gaza in the conditions that should that should get into Gaza, like normal condition, through roads, through sea, necessary, and in the quantities that are needed, because the quantities that are going in is tiny.
It is a bizarre contradiction, isn't it, as you've pointed out, and we've had some analysis as well from our correspondent Mark Stone, that Israel is being both provided with weapons from the United States, while the United States is also airdropping aid onto Gaza. Let's talk about just, you mentioned there that it's woefully low, the amount of aid getting into Gaza. Under international law, is it incumbent on the parties to be able to provide aid to civilians?
Well, first and foremost, there is only a need for the international community to provide aid to Gaza because the occupying power, which is obliged under international law to provide all the needs, to cater for the needs of the population it occupies, which Israel has occupied Gaza and the West Bank since 1967. That's why there is a need to bring humanitarian aid from the international community, because Israel is not complying with its obligations under international humanitarian law to cater for the needs of the civilian population that it occupies. And secondly, of course, the withholding of humanitarian aid to the civilian population is a serious violation of international humanitarian law, one that has been going on the part of Israel since long before the 7th of October. So the problem did not begin on the 7th of October. The blockade that Israel has imposed on Gaza 16 years ago has been ongoing continuously.